Let's say in trigger we have a concept called trigger context variables. In triggers we have a concept called trigger context variables. Trigger context variables. What is trigger context variables? We have trigger dot new, trigger dot new map, trigger dot old, trigger dot old map. So trigger dot new in the sense whatever records you are entering, whatever records, if the record I am saving here, right? One record I am editing and I am saving. So this will be a trigger dot new context. Trigger dot new context. The reason behind new will handle is a collection of list of your S object. What is S object here? What is your S object here? Account is your S object. S object means Salesforce object. S object means Salesforce object. Clear? S object means Salesforce object. So here S object defines account. Whenever I am editing an account, if I save, this record will be in the context of trigger.new. You can ask me a question. I am editing only one record, right? Where I am getting collection of data. So the collection of data, why they are allowed is we can do a data loads, bulk data load through a other tools, right? That time you need to handle for all the record validation. So only, I mean, if you can look a big picture, that time we have a collection of data. So we are, whatever we do in Salesforce, we do for a bulk more than one record. We don't treat the only one record. We always think it's have more than one record. We'll always try to write in classes or we'll try to handle the Apex in a way that it will handle more than one record, bulk data. List of S object which will contains new values. Why I mention new values here? Because whenever you are updating any record, you'll be having two kinds of data. You have old version of data and you have new version of data, right? Yeah. Now you can see last modified on 3/11/2019 7:02 p.m. right? 7:02 p.m. What I'll do, I'll edit. I'm not modified anything. I'm not modifying anything. I'm not changing it. I'm saving. And tell me whether last modified date will change or not change. It will change, right? See, you can see 3:15, 5:54 p.m. So now it means values has not changed, but the record has been updated. So it means every action by a user, they have two sets of data, old information plus new information. Comparatively, we can say whether record is modified or not modified, but update is happened always, right? Yeah. So here new map in the sense it's also same thing, map of id comma s object. It's a key value pair which will hold again new values, which will hold new values. And old, it's a self-explanatory. It's a quite opposite. It's again a list of s object which will hold old information. And old map of id comma s object. Again, it will hold the old information. Okay. Now, in triggers, you will not call triggers explicitly. Let me ask you. You have a stored procedure. Will you be able to call your stored procedure explicitly? Stored procedures in database, will you call explicitly? Okay, we can't call our stored procedures explicitly. I mean, triggers are the same. Whenever there is any DML operation will gonna happen, triggers will execute automatically. Triggers will execute automatically. So you don't have such a syntax that you can invoke your triggers All triggers can be invoked whenever there is a change in the table, whenever there is a change in the object. Here triggers in the sense object. So whenever there is any change in the object, triggers will automatically fire based on the events. Whatever the events you define here, based on that event, trigger will execute. Okay. Okay. Now here we have how, because we don't have, see, let's assume we will not write multiple triggers for multiple events. We have, for one object, one trigger is the best practice that we follow. Whatever you want to do, you need to do within the trigger. Whatever you wanted to do, you need to do within the trigger. You are not supposed to write a duplicate triggers. Because if you have started writing duplicate triggers, we don't have a control over trigger execution, right? Which trigger will fire first, which trigger will fire first. Because we are not calling, it is calling by a system. So what happens, it will create a problem in future if you going forward. So what we are doing, we need to handle events accordingly. So we have a event handlers again. Let's say trigger dot is insert. Trigger dot is insert is a boolean. Whether if it is an insert trigger, it will return true, else it returns false. We have trigger dot with all events again is update, and we have a trigger dot is delete, and we have trigger dot is undelete, and ninth one we have trigger dot is after, 10th one trigger dot is before. These are the trigger context variables available. So is insert will always true whether there is a insert trigger. Is before always true if it is a before trigger. Okay? Clear? Yeah. So now whenever you are writing anything, you need to write within the Apex class. You should not write your business logic. You should not write your business logic within the trigger. You need to write your business logic inside Apex classes. So I'm writing account tgr hdlr is my account trigger handler. I'm saying public void before trigger, sorry, before insert. This is my trigger. Okay, so what data we have, let's assume now we need to think about this. If it is a trigger.new, I'm removing this. Okay, I'm just removing this. You can remember this, it's a list of S object data which will contain new value. So trigger.new will contains, before insert will have a trigger.new. Now we need to check it out events. Before insert will have trigger.new. When I'm inserting a new record, then it would be like a before insert. Yes, you have before insert. The same way, will you have for after insert? Trigger.new is available for all events. Trigger.new is available for all events. Trigger.new map is available for all events except before insert. Because the record is not at insert, where it will get ID. It will not get a record ID, right? If the record is not inserted yet. If it is after insert, then once it is inserted, successfully, you can have a ID now. Now trigger.hold all events except insert triggers, insert events, and undelete. Right? Trigger.hold is not, whenever you are inserting means you are creating a record for a first time. Whenever the record is getting for a first time, then you don't have a old values. Right? Same concept applies here, old map also. All events except old map. 1 minute, please. So in before insert, if I am taking what type of data I need to take here, what the collection variable I need to take. If it is a before insert, you have only data called list of as object, right? List of account. New list is my option. This is my variable that I am defining. So save. Now if you have a for loop, if you have a collection of data, what you can do, you need to iterate your iteration, because you have more than one record. You need to go with the iteration. Here iteration is for each loop. As I said, what is the data type for a new list variable? Data type account account colon and your collection variable Whenever the record is created, if the record is check if website is blank. Now I need to check if the website is blank for the record creating account. Now I'm just checking acc dot, we don't know the field names again, so all you can go to website is the field name, but I'm just showing how to access this. So here you have a website, you need to use field names. You should not use field labels, you have to use field names. Website equal to null, then acc dot website dot yard error. acc.website is the field name, and I am saying error at a website, saying that please provide website you want is my error that I am throwing. Now what I need to do, I need to go to the trigger. I need to update my trigger. First I need to handle for a before insert event. So here we need to define, let's say, what is our class name? Account trigger handler, right? Account trigger handler equal to new account trigger handler if what we need to check. First we need to check whether it is before, right? And trigger dot is insert. Here we need to use handler dot before insert. Instead of new list, what we need to pass? We need to pass trigger dot new. Clear? Instead of this one, we need to pass trigger dot new. Now whenever I try to create an account, it will fire only for creation. Let's say I'm creating a new record, internal, and I'm saying test, say, please provide website you want. This is firing at a insert trigger. When I'm trying to update, let's say when I'm trying to update, edit, it's fine. Because you are explicitly mentioned to a system saying that you need to fire at a before trigger. Let me pull up here. Class structure is not coming properly. Yes. Now let's say whenever I am updating my trigger, whenever I am updating my record, I should not allow user to change his phone number. I should not allow user to change his phone number. Once the phone number is provided. It cannot be changed. Okay. When I am trying to update, I should not allow user to change his phone number. So that time we need to write a trigger on update, right? So we have public before or after. We need to do update, that we know. When we need to do, before or after? After update or before update? Okay. See, maximum triggers in Salesforce goes with before. There are only 3 exceptional cases. We need to go with the after triggers. Okay. So whenever you are working with a formula fields, that time you need to go with a after, because formulas will only calculate when the record is successfully committed to database. And the second one is that whenever I am creating my contact or a child record, I mean whenever I am creating two different records parallelly, right? Whenever this record is created, I need to create the child record also, dependent record. That time what happens, first you need to insert your parent record, you need to get a ID, and then you need to pass that ID to your relationship data. So to generate ID, you need to go with after triggers, right? When ID will generate, before insert or after insert? After, right? So ID I needed, so ultimately I need to go for after trigger here. So it's a very exceptional case. It clearly defines whether it is a before or after. If I mean going forward, you will understand. And here I'll go with the before update. In before update, what kind of data we have? We have trigger.new map. We have in before trigger. Yes or no? Trigger.old map. New, old, everything we have, right? Whenever you are writing for a before update triggers, try to use only maps. Try to use only maps. My recommendation. New map, comma, map of ID, comma, account, old map. So what we can do here first, ultimately why we need two values. What we need to do, we need to compare our old phone number with new phone number, right? Then only we can say, hey, this record has been updated or the field has been modified by a user. So in that case, you need to have a two version of data as an input argumented. So whenever you are working with after triggers, after update, maximum time, I mean, let's not worry. Whenever you are defining your after update, let's define two variables always. This is a method signature. Let's treat this is the standard new map and old map. Now, what we can do, how to iterate a map? How to iterate a map? How to iterate a map? We can write a for loop on map, isn't it? See, if I need only keys, from map, I have a method called keyset. I have a method called keyset, which will return my set of keys, which will return set of key, It's a collection, single variable collection, yes or no? If I decided to have iteration over on a key, then I need to use keyset. If I decided to from map, values from map, then I need to use values, which is a list of data type. Sorry, data type can be anything. In this case here it is account, might be some other case it can be anything. I'm just giving a generic syntax. List of data type. So you can iterate your map based on the key set, or you can iterate map based on the values. So now we'll go with a key set only. If you are iterating for a map, I recommend you to use only key sets. Do not iterate based on values, iterate using keys, okay? What is the key data type here? Key data type ID. It's just an ID. AC ID colon new map dot key set. Iteration always should happen with a new data. Old data is just to compare, that's it. You should not have any logic on top of old map. You should have your business logic with a new data. Old data is just a supporting data to check your condition, that's it. But you should not be relied on old data, okay? Now I need to get my new account information. How to get my new account information? ACC OUNT account new ACC equal to, how can I get my new account? From a new map only, right? New map dot get AC ID. The same way, you have an option called old account information. How can I get my old account information? Old ACC, then old map dot YACID. Same account information where key is always same, right? So now we have two data. Now we can see always new AC dot phone not equal to old ACC dot phone, saying that that's it. ACC dot add error. We have two things, two places where you can add error. At is object level you can add. So whenever you are writing your validation rule, it have two options, right? Page level or a field level validation through error message. Validation from account trigger. So this is my error message at a page level, and at a field level I'll say SCC dot phone. It's not mandatory that you can add page level message, but I'm just to display to show you are not allowed to change the phone number. Now the problem, user might miss, if it change he don't remember, right, which phone number he updated. So let me give here's an option from old ACC phone to new ACC phone. I'm giving my old phone number and new phone number together. Say. So next what we need to do? What we had error. Oh sorry. New ACC dot add error. I need to use new ACC. We need to throw on a new account, not an old record, right? New ACC dot add error. Okay. Now what we need to do? We need to call our class here, right? What is our class here? Before update. So now we need to go with if trigger dot is before and trigger dot is update. Then what we need to call? Handler dot before update. What we need to pass here? Two values, trigger dot new map comma trigger dot old map. Trigger dot is before trigger dot is before and trigger dot is update. Now I'm calling my before method. I'm saying now I try to do my phone number is changed. I don't know how many nines I had before. I'm just trying to change now. Validation from account trigger which we pasted at a object level, right? Page level. And you are saying you are not allowed to change a phone number from 999. This is the field. From to this one. So now we can do, right? This will allow. Now you can able to do. So from before insert and after before update, what you observe? The difference between these two, what you observe? I'll tell you. So whenever you are writing with the before insert, you have free that you can go with a single version of data. That's it. You don't have any dependency issues, right? If this is the case, it will create a dependency issue. Let's say I'll tell you one example. I'll say whenever I'm editing my account record, I need to send an email. Only if I change the status from hot to cold. Only if the accounts are become cold, I need to send an email on that time. Understand my statement? If the accounts become cold, then I need to send an email. Okay, this is my condition. Now, if the account is become cold, I will send an email. Again, if I edit a record for some other reason saying that I need to update my type of the account, even though it is cold, I wanted to update my account type equal to something else. Now, what happened? Again, trigger will file, right? Again, trigger will file. Again, email will send, right? To avoid such conflict, we need to understand, hey, old value and new value is not same or same. We have to do our after update or before update triggers comparatively with the old information always. In workflows, we have like create and subsequently met criteria. Create and edit every time subsequently met criteria. There is the option thought trigger model, thought workflow. Why thought workflow? It will fire only if the statement becomes false and then it need to become true, right? If we want to implement such functionality, we need to go with a new map and old map together. And why I am referring maps, the problem here is if I am using a list, let's say I am using a list of account. Here also I am using list of account. You need to iterate two for loops, right? Inner for loops. You need to write for a new list one for loop. Inside you need to write for a old for loop, and then you need to check a condition called if account ID equal to old account ID. So what happens for one record? I have 10 records. If I have 10 records in my new list, with that said, old records also 10, right? To get all combination, how many iterations you would be needed? To get all combinations, how many iterations you would be needed? 100, 10 into 10, right? So if this is the case, I am iterating only 10 times. See the performance of a code. The execution time is minimum, which means that your code, you can allow user to save his record as quickly as possible instead of holding him for iterations. Now today we had 100, and sometimes we actually update 1 billion records. 1 billion into 1 billion. It's the count that we are talking about. So whenever you are writing for after updates, if maps are available, ensure that you are using maps concepts. Okay, clear? Now, what is after delete, before delete? Let's say I am deleting this record. Whenever I am deleting this record, I need to check my contacts have a accounts or not. Whenever I have a records, let's say contacts. Whenever account is getting deleted, I need to update my contact description. I need to update. Oh, again, this is account only. Test Deepak delete. Say. So this is my contact, right? Whenever I'm deleting my account, I need to update my contact saying that, hey, your account Deepak has been deleted by which user? Let's say logged in user. I need to say. Just this is not a real requirement. This never be a real requirement. I'm saying how to leverage this delete trigger for an account. So whenever I'm deleting my account, I need to update my contact details, right? So now understand how many objects we are talking about? Two objects. Clear? Now, so it means whenever I'm deleting my account, I need to fetch my contacts also. I need to fetch my contacts also here. Let's go with for it before update or after delete or before delete. Now what we need to have? When we need to write this trigger, I'm saying that whenever my account is getting deleted, whenever account is deleted, I need to update my contact saying that your account has been deleted by SFDC BA. Now tell me the event, which event I need to use? After. Whenever I delete successfully, then only I need to update. If some error causes it is not deleted, then if you update contacts, it would be a problem, right? After delete. What kind of data you have in after triggers? After delete? You have all the records, but you don't have a new record and new map. Sorry, for delete all events except for delete. Except for before insert and delete, because delete doesn't have any updates, right? It have only data, that's it, old data. There is, you are deleting, you are doing an action which is an existing data, right? So you have old and old map for a delete. So let's go to the trigger, a controller. Okay, I'll write it top only, it would be easy to see code. Public void after delete, after delete. What type of data you have? Whenever you have a map available, I'm saying map only, right? Account old map. So now we need to fetch our contacts, right? We need to fetch our contacts, yes or no? Retrieve contacts from based on accounts. How to retrieve contacts? List of contact con list equal to, we need to write a query, that's it. Within square brackets we need to write a query. We don't want to do anything, no connection con, no database connection, no server connection, nothing. It's just like square brackets, you write, automatically it will convert the data. So select id comma description, and you need to query only those fields which are required to you, not everything the way you do from a database. You need to query only those fields which you need to utilize, otherwise it will be a load on a system. From contact where account id, right, where account id is the field name, in colon. So in means is a collection of data, colon refers to it's a variable, colon refers it's a variable. So old map, where I have my account ID is inside my key set, right? Yes or no? So now in refers to more than one record, one value you need to look into. Colon refers to the variable name. It's a variable, that's what the colon means. When you are writing query here, right? Whenever you are writing query from account where ID in, and then you'll open a brackets and then you'll write like this. You understand, multiple values, because here you are passing data hard coded way. Here you need to pass dynamically, so we are using this colon. Colon refers to it's a variable. If it is a single variable, you will pass equal to colon. If it is a multiple values, then you will say in colon. Okay, clear? Now we need to iterate. Contact con colon con list. Now we need to update con dot description. Spelling correct, right? Description. Your account has been deleted by user user id colon user info. You will get it this, get user id, get name. So there is a global variables available. User info means logged in user. User info means the user which is logged in and executing this trigger. Okay, and everything is done, and then what you need to do, you need to check a size before doing a DML operation always. So we need to commit back our contacts, right? Con list dot size greater than 0. I'm checking my collection of data is greater than 0. Then I'll say update con list. Update con list. So I'm saying that when the contact, there might be an account which have no contact. There might be an account which might not access. Why you need to do a simple update on contact without having anything? Clear? If trigger dot is after and trigger dot is delete. Now I can see handler dot after delete, and then trigger dot old map. Clear? Fine. Now I'm deleting my account. I'm deleting my account. Successfully deleted. Now you can see. What happened? Now tell me. Now tell me what happened. What is the relationship between account and contact? Lookup, right? So when I'm saying if I delete my account, I'll gonna update my contact, and you guys never stopped me for this limitation. Sorry.